Have you ever watched a seemingly simple moment on stage and suddenly realized that there was much more happening than you first noticed? Because this time, ARMY's attention wasn't focused only on Namjoon as Jin playfully tested his patience. It wasn't just about Jin's hilarious determination to keep teasing him either. There was another member quietly watching everything unfold from nearby, Jimin. And what caught everyone's attention was Jimin's expression. In the middle of the laughter and chaos, while Namjoon was trying to deal with Jin's teasing, Jimin could be seen watching the situation with a playful smile. At first glance, it might look like nothing more than a simple reaction to something funny happening on stage. But for ARMY who have followed BTS for years, even the smallest expressions can become fascinating moments. Why did Jimin smile like that? Was he simply enjoying the funny situation? Did he already know exactly where Jin's teasing was going? Or was Jimin simply enjoying the rare opportunity to watch their leader, Namjoon, being pushed to his limits by Jin? Before we go any further, let's make one thing clear. We don't need to turn a playful moment into something it isn't. There is no need to invent a hidden meaning behind Jimin's smile. What we can do is look carefully at what actually happened, appreciate the humor, and understand why this small interaction between the members feels so special to ARMY around the world. Because sometimes, the most memorable BTS moments aren't the dramatic ones. They are the moments when the members are simply being themselves. Jin teasing Namjoon, Namjoon trying to stay patient, and Jimin watching everything unfold with that unmistakable smile. This is the story behind the moment that made ARMY laugh, smile, and immediately look toward Jimin. At first, the obvious center of attention is Namjoon. As the leader of BTS, Namjoon is often seen taking responsibility for the group. He has spent years speaking for the members, helping guide conversations, handling serious situations, and keeping things moving during performances and public appearances. But when Jin starts testing his patience, the atmosphere suddenly changes. Namjoon no longer looks like the serious leader who has everything under control. Instead, he becomes the target of one of Jin's playful attacks. And Jin seems to know exactly what he is doing. The more Namjoon tries to maintain his composure, the funnier the situation becomes. Jin continues with his teasing. Namjoon reacts. The members laugh. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, Jimin watches. That is where the moment becomes especially entertaining. Jimin isn't necessarily the person creating the chaos. He doesn't need to be. He simply observes what is happening, and his reaction becomes part of the story. That smile. That expression. That quiet amusement. It almost feels as if Jimin is enjoying the show just as much as everyone else. And this is one of the reasons ARMY love watching BTS interact with each other. Their chemistry doesn't always require a big performance. Sometimes it appears naturally through a joke, a glance, a laugh, or a reaction that lasts only a few seconds. Jin and Namjoon in particular have a fascinating dynamic. Namjoon often carries the responsibility of being the leader. Jin, on the other hand, has always had a unique ability to lighten the atmosphere with humor and spontaneity. When those two personalities collide, something unpredictable often happens. Namjoon tries to remain composed. Jin keeps pushing the joke. And everyone else gets to enjoy the result. This time, Jimin appears to be one of the people enjoying it the most. But why does a tiny smile from Jimin attract so much attention? The answer may actually be much simpler than some people think. Jimin has always been expressive. Sometimes he doesn't need to say anything at all. A small smile, a reaction, or a glance can communicate that he understands exactly what is happening. Of course, we cannot know exactly what was going through his mind at that specific moment, unless Jimin himself explains it. But we can appreciate what the camera captured. And what the camera captured was a member watching his fellow members have a hilarious moment. That's enough to make the clip memorable. For longtime ARMY, these interactions are valuable because they reveal a more relaxed side of BTS. On stage, BTS are performers. They have choreography to remember, lyrics to sing, cameras to face, thousands or even tens of thousands of people watching them. But moments like this can feel completely different. There is no obvious need to be perfect. There is no carefully prepared emotional speech. There is simply Jin being Jin, Namjoon trying to survive the situation, and Jimin enjoying the chaos. And somehow, that feels incredibly genuine. Think about what makes friendship entertaining. Sometimes the closest friends are the people who know exactly how to annoy each other. They know which jokes will get a reaction. They know when to keep going. And they know when everyone is laughing enough. That kind of playful teasing can be a sign of familiarity and comfort. Of course, one short video cannot tell us everything about someone's private relationship, but it can show us a small glimpse of how comfortable people appear to be around each other. And that is what makes this moment so enjoyable. Jin doesn't seem interested in giving Namjoon an easy escape. Namjoon appears to be trying to hold on to his patience. And Jimin? Jimin is watching. And smiling. For ARMY, that combination is almost impossible to ignore. But there is something else worth understanding. In fandom culture, fans naturally pay attention to details. They notice who is standing beside whom. They notice reactions in the background. They notice when one member laughs at another member's joke. They notice facial expressions that might last only a second. This is part of what makes watching group content so engaging. You can watch the same clip multiple times and notice something different every time. The first time you might focus on Jin. The second time, you might focus on Namjoon's reaction. And the third time? You suddenly notice Jimin smiling in the background. And then you realize why so many fans are talking about him. It's not necessarily because he did something dramatic. It's because he didn't. He simply looked like someone enjoying a funny moment between people he knows extremely well. And sometimes that kind of natural reaction is even more charming than a planned interaction. Imagine the scene from Jimin's perspective. Namjoon is being teased. Jin is clearly enjoying himself. The atmosphere is full of laughter. And instead of stepping into the middle of the situation, Jimin simply watches. Perhaps he already knows how these situations usually end. Perhaps he knows that Jin can keep teasing Namjoon until Namjoon finally reacts. Or perhaps he simply finds the entire situation hilarious. We don't know. And that's okay. Not every moment needs a secret explanation. Sometimes a smile is just a smile. But it can still be meaningful in a different way. It reminds fans that BTS are not only 7 performers standing together on a stage. They are also people who have spent an extraordinary amount of time growing alongside one another. They have experienced difficult periods. They have celebrated major achievements. They have traveled together. They have performed together. They have faced pressure together. And after all of that, they can still laugh at one another over something incredibly simple. That is what makes moments like this emotionally touching for many longtime fans. For people who have watched BTS grow over the years, seeing the members laugh together can bring back memories of earlier eras. The hairstyles may change. The stages may become bigger. Their music may evolve. Their lives may enter completely different chapters. But the ability to make one another laugh can remain. And perhaps that is why this particular interaction feels so warm. There is no major announcement. There is no dramatic revelation. There is simply a playful moment between Jin and Namjoon, with Jimin quietly enjoying the chaos. But wait. Because there is another reason this moment is interesting. Look at Namjoon's reaction. The humor doesn't come only from Jin's teasing. It comes from the way Namjoon's patience appears to be slowly tested. As Jin continues, Namjoon's reactions become part of the entertainment. And this is where we see another side of Namjoon. The leader who is often calm and thoughtful can also be playful, expressive, and easily amused when he's around the members. That contrast is one of the reasons fans connect with him. Namjoon doesn't always have to be the responsible leader. Around the other members, he can simply be Namjoon. And Jin seems more than happy to remind him of that. Jin's personality makes this even more entertaining. He has often been recognized for his humor, confidence, and ability to turn ordinary situations into memorable moments. When he decides to tease someone, there is often a sense that he knows exactly what kind of reaction he wants. And this time, Namjoon appears to be the perfect target. But perhaps the funniest part is that Jimin doesn't seem surprised. He watches the situation with a smile that almost suggests he is completely comfortable with the chaos. Again, we should be careful not to claim that his expression has some hidden meaning. We cannot know what Jimin was thinking. What we can say is that the footage shows him paying attention and smiling. And that alone was enough for ARMY to notice. This is also why small background moments can become so popular online. A major performance might have thousands of details. But sometimes one unexpected reaction becomes the moment everyone remembers. The camera doesn't always need to focus on a person for that person to steal attention. Jimin proves that here. He doesn't have to step forward. He doesn't have to make a big gesture. His smile does the work. And suddenly ARMY are asking themselves, "Did you see Jimin?" That question is exactly what creates the curiosity surrounding the clip. Because when a group has 7 members, every reaction becomes part of the story. One member creates the joke. Another member becomes the target. A third member reacts. And the audience experiences all 3 layers simultaneously. That is what makes group chemistry so entertaining. It's not just about what is said. It's also about how everyone responds. And BTS have had years to develop that chemistry. Their interactions often feel spontaneous because they know each other's personalities so well. Jin knows how to make Namjoon react. Namjoon knows Jin is probably not going to stop immediately. And Jimin knows how to sit back and enjoy the chaos. At least, that's what this particular moment appears to show. But there's still one important question. Why does this moment resonate so strongly with ARMY? Especially fans who have followed BTS for many years. Perhaps because as people get older, they begin to appreciate something different. Not every memorable moment needs to be dramatic. Sometimes the moments that touch the heart are the simplest ones. A group of friends laughing. Someone teasing another person. Someone else smiling because the whole situation is ridiculous. Those moments can remind us of our own friendships. The people who know how to make us laugh. The people who can tease us without hurting us. The people who can turn an ordinary day into a memory. Maybe that is why seeing BTS behave naturally can feel comforting. Their world is enormous. Their stages are enormous. Their audience is global. But moments like this make everything feel small again. Just 7 people enjoying each other's company. And in this particular scene, Jin becomes the playful troublemaker, Namjoon becomes the unwilling participant, and Jimin becomes the amused observer. It's almost like a tiny comedy scene happening in the middle of a much bigger performance. And the best part? Nobody seems to be taking it too seriously. That is exactly what makes it fun. Still, there is one detail we should keep in mind. Fans may describe Jimin's smile as teasing or mischievous. But those descriptions are interpretations of his expression, not confirmed statements about what he was thinking. And keeping that distinction matters. We can enjoy fan theories. We can laugh at funny interpretations. We can share our favorite reactions. But we should always separate what we can actually see from what we imagine. What we can see is simple. Jin was teasing Namjoon. Namjoon reacted. Jimin watched and smiled. And ARMY found the whole thing hilarious. Sometimes, that's more than enough. Because the real beauty of this moment isn't hidden behind a secret. It's right there in front of us. It's friendship. It's familiarity. It's humor. And it's the comfort of seeing people who have spent so much of their lives together still finding reasons to laugh. But there is another layer to this story. When we look at Jimin's reaction alongside Namjoon's struggle to maintain his composure, the contrast becomes even more entertaining. Namjoon is trying to deal with the situation. Jin appears determined to make it worse. and Jimin looks like he is simply enjoying every second. That dynamic creates a moment that feels almost impossible not to replay. And perhaps that's why this clip continues to capture attention. Not because something dramatic happened, but because everything felt natural. The members weren't trying to create a viral moment. They were simply interacting. And sometimes the moments that become the most memorable are exactly the moments nobody planned. So if you watch the clip only focusing on Namjoon, take another look. Watch Jin. Then watch Namjoon. And finally look toward Jimin. Because once you notice that smile, it's difficult not to notice it again. Maybe Jimin was simply amused. Maybe he was enjoying Jin's joke. Maybe he knew Namjoon was about to react. Or maybe he was simply happy to see his members having fun. We don't know. And we don't need to pretend that we do. What we do know is that the moment gave ARMY another little glimpse into the playful chemistry that has made BTS so beloved around the world. And this is only the beginning. Because there is still more to unpack about the way the members react to one another when the atmosphere becomes completely relaxed. The way Jin can turn a simple moment into chaos. The way Namjoon can go from composed leader to exasperated friend. And the way Jimin can sit nearby, watching everything unfold with that playful smile. So before you decide what Jimin's expression means, remember this. Sometimes the most beautiful part of a friendship isn't what someone says. It's the way they smile when the people around them are happy. And perhaps that is exactly what we witnessed here. But there is one more question that remains.